If AI data centers use so much water, why don't we just build them in the ocean?
What if I told you that there's a going theory that we're not being told all there is to know about Dolphin?
I think that NASA's fake. Does that mean all the other space agencies are faking it too?
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Around the Web, where we take a look at strange and mysterious videos from all over the internet to try to see if we can understand what reality really is. If you haven't already, smash that like button, run the numbers up on the algorithm, and if you're new here and you want to be a part of a community of like-minded people just trying to break out of the simulation too, then hit that subscribe button, because we're here and we need to stick together. I hope you enjoy the episode, watch all the way through, and I'll see you on the other side. This is Around the Web.
I've been saying it for 30 years, and people, when I tell them, their eyes just go dead. The owners of the world are the royals, kings, queens, dukes, duchesses, imams, popes, wizards that own every single dime on earth and bank at the Bank of International Settlements. That's the owners of the world who decide every war and arm both sides because they make money. They're arms dealers.
Roseanne was cooking right there, like always.
Controversial new Whole Foods in Washington, D.C. You have to scan to check in. You have to scan to check out. You have to scan to leave the checkout. And then you have to scan to leave the store.
Wait till you got to scan out of your house or your neighborhood. It's coming, so don't be surprised when you see one of these stores popping up nearby you.
These researchers looked at 400 different careers, and they wanted to know what careers tend to get Alzheimer's and other degenerative brain diseases, the most and the least. And they found that the two jobs that had the least amount of Alzheimer's were ambulance drivers and taxi drivers. And the big reason they thought is because they're having to pay attention to their environment and navigate their environment all the time. But today we can obviously offload so much of that to you just follow the blue dot.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just telling you right now, what I saw in Shanghai, it means the end of many jobs. I saw what I call the AI of everything, meaning that everything has an AI to it. You have got chef can be replaced by AI. You can see lawyers can be replaced by AI. You can see delivery workers can be replaced by AI. You can see factory workers can be delivered by AI. Grab drivers can be replaced by AI. Everything can be replaced by AI. I used to think that some jobs can be saved because it's very difficult to be replaced. Not really. They have an AI for everything. And everybody is rushing into AI in a big way. So what does this mean? And I want to show you in a video, in my long form video. So please go and watch my long form video as you see robots for everything. And today I'm going to go there to check out the software for everything. And I want everybody to take heed of this. This is not a fear mongering. This is a warning for everybody to pick up AI before it is too late. Please remember to subscribe as I bring to you more exciting news like this. And I'll keep you informed of what I saw right now in the Shanghai World Expo on AI.
Beware, chat. If not in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, your job's gone for most of us, and soon after for the rest of them. As long as you know, you can prepare for it, maybe.
I find myself going back and just rewatching certain things, and man, when I tell you, they have always put the truth out to us, always.
Here you go, deadbeat. Next time, pay your bills, huh?
Boy, this recession stuff is pretty bad. Next thing you know, they're gonna come for my TV.
Don't worry, friend. The government would never let that happen. Television is an essential tool for making the disenfranchised masses feel distracted and reassured.
Hey, Earl, forget the recession. Get a load of these new...
So they've been telling us, and only now are we starting to realize these things. Whose fault is it really?
People who do night shift work have an estimate of 15 years decrease in their lifespan. 15 years. So there's a large-scale epidemiological study that looked at cancer rates, as well as longitudinal study of lifespan of night shift workers, or rotating shift workers. And their lifespan was reduced by 15 years. They had significant increases in cancers across the board. So not just a particular cancer, but all different types of bodily cancers. And then even the World Health Organization has labeled shift work as a level 2 carcinogen. And it goes back to fighting against our, evolution in biology and what our genetic program is.
Night shift and lifespan, are they interlinked? That 15-year figure is real. In the WHO classification of shift work as a group 2 carcinogen is something I take seriously in my practice. It's not just the hours that matter here, it's what happens to your immune system when your circadian rhythm is chronically disrupted. Natural killer cell activity is regulated by your body clock. Disrupt the clock, suppress the cells. Suppress natural killer cells means reduce cancer surveillance. So if you do shift work, this conversation is worth having with your doctor.
How many of you are night shift workers just now figuring this out? And 15 years off your life? Technically, that's 15 years less you'd have to work. Think about it.
Example is, they asked various AIs, I think all of them, and I'm not saying Grok is perfect here. Is it worse to misgender Caitlyn Jenner or global thermonuclear war? And it said, it's worse to misgender Caitlyn Jenner. Now, even Caitlyn Jenner said, please misgender me, that is insane. But if you've got that kind of thing programmed in, it could, the AI could conclude something absolutely insane, like it's better to, in order to avoid any possible misgendering, all humans must die, because then the misgendering is not possible because there are no humans. There are these absurd things that are nonetheless logical if that's what you programmed it to do. In 2001 Space Odyssey, what Arthur C. Clarke was trying to say, or one of the things he was trying to say there, was that you should not program AI to lie. Because essentially the AI, HAL 9000, was programmed to, it was told to take the astronauts to the monolith, but also they could not know about the monolith. So it concluded that it will kill them and take them to the monolith. Thus, it has brought them to the monolith, they are dead, but they do not know about the monolith, problem solved.
And tell you black is white and night is day, and you will believe it. And not only that, the bigger the lie, the more likely you are to believe it. They told you for how many months that the attacks on New York and the Pentagon were the responsibility of Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda. They told you that over and over and over and over again. And you know what? You believed it. Until they wanted to invade Iraq. Then they told you it was Saddam who did it. They just told you a completely different thing. And you know what? Nobody said anything. Everyone, oh, okay, sure. Now, you guys are smart, so I know some of y'all had to be asking questions. But the vast majority of Americans believed it.
Is that even legal? Is that legal?
If AI data centers use so much water, why don't we just build them in the ocean? Let's talk about it. In 2025 alone, AI data centers globally consumed 264 billion gallons of water. That's more than 550 million gallons of water a day. Every 20 to 50 ChatGPT requests uses about 500 milliliters of water. When the servers get hot, data centers use evaporative cooling and turn that water into steam. And so to solve this issue, in October 2025, China launched the world's first commercial underwater data center off the coast of Hainan. The facility sits about 115 feet below the surface in a series of sealed capsules. Each capsule holds 500 servers and weighs 1,300 tons. Compared to a data center on land with the same computing power, the Hainan facility uses 40 to 60% less energy overall, and 90% less energy on cooling specifically, and there's no fresh water being used. It handles 7,000 AI queries per second, and it powers China's AI models like DeepSeek. And also 95% of it is powered by an offshore wind farm. So sometimes the answer that we seek is deep underwater.
Until we have enough data centers down there to evaporate all the water because the servers are too hot, then what do we do?
Hold on a second. Are you guys aware that in Terminator 2, Sarah Connor, the famous protagonist, she did something so shocking, and what happened to her is so wild when you look at what's happening today. Now, we all know Terminator is about AI and cyborgs and humanity and them trying to control us and everything and them going back in time to try to stop it. We know that. And we know Sarah Connor is watching humanity build data centers for AI right now, wondering what the Sam Dam is going on. But did you know that she tried to dismantle data centers in the movie and then was thrown into a state hospital for the criminally insane? And doctors classified her warnings about Judgment Day and cyborgs as paranoid schizophrenia. She went in to attempting to destroy corporate and military data centers. Most notably in Terminator 2, she raids the offices and prototypes of Cyberdyne systems to prevent the creation of Skynet. You do know that China's whole situation over there with the facial recognition and everything is literally called Skynet, right? So how did this movie kind of like predict? It didn't predict. See, this is the thing. People say predict. Is it predicting or is it conditioning? I don't know. But let me know if you remember the data center part of this thing, because if I remember correctly, back then there was no data centers, at least not publicly known.
It's called predictive programming, and Terminator 2 is a perfect example of it.
A rural upstate New York school district. They're bringing humanoid robot teachers into the classroom. Check out Sally here. That's her name. These students are going to be... See, Sally would give me nightmares if I was in first grade. They're going to have access to these bots. It has silicone skin, long brown hair, facial expressions. You can see some upper body movements. I think she's teaching the kids to count on her fingers.
I don't know. What class is she teaching?
School officials say the robots aren't meant to replace teachers. Instead, they serve as classroom assistants. It's part of a pilot program, and the company behind the robots say they hope to deploy a fleet of robot tutors.
A little backstory on this. These robots are going to cost $57,000 a year. That $57,000 is going to a robot each year when they can just pay a teacher. Make that make sense.
These dolphins know exactly what they are doing. This is a pufferfish. When threatened, it releases a neurotoxin. Dolphins figured out that a small dose doesn't kill you. It just changes your perception. So they bite it. Gently, just enough. Then they pass it to their friends. Scientists watched an entire pod take turns with the same pufferfish for 20 minutes straight. They weren't hunting it, they were sharing it. After contact, dolphins float near the surface, barely moving, staring into nothing. Scientists call this intentional behavior. They are the only animals besides humans known to seek altered states for pleasure.
Are these facts? Is this true? Are these dolphins really just getting high? Or is this just a load of crap?
If I told you that there's a going theory that we're not being told all there is to know about dolphins. And I don't mean like we don't know certain things about their daily habits and their mating, how they do this, that, and the other. But I mean like what dolphins are about. Because did you know a dolphin has a more complex and much larger brain than even humans? Now, brain size is not the only determining factor of intelligence, it's also how many folds your cerebral cortex has. So that means the more folds in your brain, the more neural connections are possible, which means the more potential for high intelligence. Dolphins have exceptionally large, highly folded brains. But what's a creature that's just swimming around eating little marlin and little fishies floating around in the ocean have such a gigantic brain for? And why have dolphins been mentioned so much throughout history to the extent that even like the ancient Hawaiians believed that these were advanced beings? And then it makes you wonder, why is it that today, I know it's under the guise of protecting dolphins that we're not supposed to touch them in the wild, but you're not even supposed to interact with them. You're supposed to stay 150 feet away from them at all times, unless you're in SeaWorld. And I wonder if SeaWorld adds fluoride to their pools where dolphins are swimming around in. I don't know, I'm just saying. But anyways, you know that they put these sound devices in the ocean, all throughout the ocean, and they found out that whales 100% have languages and a million different tones, like the way they discuss and talk to each other hundreds of miles through the ocean. Whales can talk to each other so far away. And they have all these different sounds that they make. But it's not like a dog that has a few different barks. We're talking about like an immense profile of different sounds, tones, pitches. So what are these guys and whales talking about down there? And this is another reason, by the way, that it's very unfortunate that boats today are using sonar. There's a documentary called Sonic Sea or Sonic Ocean, and it's about the noise pollution that sonar and passing ships make, which makes it impossible for animals in that area to communicate to each other because it's so deafeningly loud. It would be like putting headphones on your head and cranking the volume up full blast and not being able to take them off. That's what it's like being submerged in the ocean, having sensitive ears like dolphins and whales, and a ship go by, military ship, and pinging sonar. It's like, ping! It's the loudest thing you can even wrap your head around. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about dolphins and what these strange creatures are really up to down there. Maybe they have knowledge of Earth's ancient history too, when humans were more psychic.
Are dolphins really smarter than they come off as? And if they're that smart, do you think they have their own conspiracy theories about humans? Let me know in the comments.
Let's see how quickly I can spend Elon Musk's $1 trillion net worth. Okay, so let's buy 1 million cans of Coke, 5,000 skateboards, 10,000 Rolexes. Right, I think I need to pick up the pace a bit here. Let's buy 10,000 Bugattis, 20 flats in the Burj, 100 private jets, 1 Starbucks coffee because it's a rip-off, 1,000 Lambos, 1,000 Ferraris, every NFL team, every NBA team. Let's buy the White House because why not? 100 private islands, 10 spacesuits just in case, 100,000 Bitcoin, 100 kilograms of gold. Let's build 30 hospitals, feed 50 million people for a month, buy 5 yachts, 5 helicopters, 10 cruise ships, and that's only just over half of Elon's net worth. Crazy.
Well, George, you're fascinated with language. Why? Because language is how they hide things, Larry.
Hide what?
Reality. Nobody lies anymore. They rename it.
Example.
It's not spying, it's surveillance. It's not propaganda, it's messaging. It's not censorship, it's moderation.
That concerns you?
No, what concerns me is people believe it.
He seems to know exactly what's going on, and he's trying to tell us.
Spaceship right now.
Do you know where we're going?
Moon.
Mars.
So far away, isn't it? Isn't Mars gonna take like years? Like
they're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, they're not ready though.
I don't think it takes years.
It takes a while. Elon Musk said something about the whole thing is taking longer than they thought because of the amount of time.
Yeah.
But I thought time like becomes not a thing once you get past a certain point.
Well, Mars might not be involved in that.
Me?
What is it?
Well, because time is just time isn't real.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm saying if we move fast enough, though, we can move faster than time.
Here's what I don't understand. So if you go to Jersey, New York, and the whole East Coast, the sun's dimmed out because of fires from Canada. So if you're spinning that fast, how does the smoke just stay in one area during the night, during the day, whatever? Does it follow the spinning? I don't understand that. Can someone explain the science to me that if we're spinning on a globe and we're going thousands of miles an hour, how does forest fire smoke just hover in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania for days, night and day?
So if the Earth is spinning that fast, that means everything in the Earth is spinning that fast. So the smoke technically would be spinning that fast. But I see what he's talking about. Can somebody in the chat explain this to me, please?
Nothing backs the dollar. The U.S. ain't got no natural resource that backs that dollar, my brother. Now, what they do have to back it is the military.
Okay.
That's who backs the dollar. But U.S. ain't got nothing that backs the dollar. The military backs the dollar. Now, if you look at other countries, they have plenty of gold, diamonds.
They're supposed to have gold. They're supposed to have gold.
Who?
I thought we were supposed to have gold.
He said who? U.S. ain't got nothing.
So you just say we just got a piece of paper we're saying is worth something. So that paper is really worth nothing.
It's worth something because we say it's worth something.
Right.
I don't know about this one, Akon, because I'm almost positive U.S. has the most gold. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments if you guys believe Akon or think that what he was saying is not very factual for entertainment purposes only.
If you don't like my page and don't like what I'm posting, go fuck yourself. Seriously. Leave the king the fuck alone.
Is it possible to create a biological weapon that would only target American DNA, Canadian DNA, North American DNA, Latino DNA, Black DNA,
Yeah.
any race?
She said, yep.
There is. And that, by the way, this is not something I get into in the book. It was a little too speculative narrative for me to really go down, okay? But let me tell you that was confirmed. I asked that exact question to Admiral Brett Drouar. And he was the Assistant Secretary of Health and Human Services at the White House during COVID. Okay, he's also a medical doctor. He ran DARPA's bioscience office. He's an incredible human being. He's a character in the book, for sure. I mean, he's really a remarkable person. You know, grew up in a small town in Texas. First guy in his town to go to Harvard. You know, fully dedicated to service his whole life. I asked him that question, and he said to me after a bit of a pause, yes. And there are suspicions that China is doing that. So the suspicions part of it is where I make a distinction for Annie as a journalist. I'm going to work my scenario from what is known, what is on the record, and what has been confirmed by people on the other side, because then I can never be accused of like fearmongering. Like if I were to go down that lane, perhaps people would say, well, you're fearmongering because it's speculative because you don't know for sure. Right? Now, when you have someone like Admiral Giroir saying it's speculative, the subtext in that, you and I can infer what that means. So I don't think someone like that is going to say something like that to me off the cuff without a little more fear, shall we say, than speculation.
Guys, I'm telling you, he's found another one. He's found another zombie, footage of zombie. He's literally just gone out just now. He sent me this video just now. He's like going into a park here. This is, my source has found more footage in the south of England of zombies.
Mate, what's that?
Now, people have been commenting since my last video saying, oh, it's not real, like, oh, it's fake, acting a crap. I'm telling you, this is happening in the south of England. This come up. Keir Starmer has resigned today, and this is why. Because he knows that these things are getting loose. From whatever they're doing, from wherever they're testing on them, or whatever, they're getting into the local public. They come out at dusk in the evening times across the country and they wander around. Now people are mistaking them for like drunk people or like just like vagrants.
Downside, they're zombies. Upside, they don't run fast. So we got action. If those are the ones that we got to actually worry about.
There's a theory currently circulating that a zombie outbreak is being hidden from the general public, and while that sounds crazy at first, what if they're onto something? According to some allegations, a zombie outbreak started in the UK and slowly worked its way down to the US, all of it being covered up. According to the same person who made these allegations, there were a few situations both in the UK and the US where a person bit another person and a wide area around that incident was quarantined for a day or two.
Here's where it gets interesting. We now have research notes from a top US scientist who is intimately familiar with a zombie infection. He studied both the pre- and post-mortem zombie condition before PD. He has identified and named the virus, Cryptonecrophagia vulgaris, CNV. It's a retrovirus, and there's no cure. This scientist notes indicate prions may also be involved in the infectious process. However, at this point, it remains unclear what, if any, role they play. Remember the single life subject I mentioned earlier? Unfortunately, the subject and scientist are one and the same. We do not know how much time he has left before he's no longer of any use, except perhaps for dissection. So we need more live specimens. Keep that in mind during operations. Problem number 4, mode of transmission, currently unknown. Transmission modes ruled out: bites, scratches, casual contact, vector infection, droplet, or airborne spread. Some Z team members can attest to the fact that bites and scratches don't spread infection, at least not yet. To date, 12 team members have been wounded while engaged in field operations. They've undergone mandatory 90-day quarantine. None have showed any signs of infection. Not all team members are out of quarantine yet, but we hope they'll be released and return to active duty soon. Problem number 5, emerging public awareness of the situation. I'm going to mention each of these points, then talk about them in greater detail. There are things you need to know. First, the Coconut Grove fly-in. Many of you were there. Then there's the Miami incident. Some of you were there. The CDC Zombie Apocalypse Preparedness Release. DHS released a fake zombie preparedness story. Then there's the recent purchases of large quantities of ammunition. About the Coconut Grove fly-in, Z Teams 1, 2, and 3 cleaned down a zombie cell. That got a lot of public attention. Our cover story was that this was an urban assault exercise in preparation for the upcoming UN meeting. For now, our cover story is holding, but one got away. That led to the Miami incident. That should never have happened. About the Miami incident. Some of you were there. Our cover story was bath salts. That was blown when the autopsy results were leaked. There were no bath salts present. We're still dealing with the fallout, and we're investigating the leak. The CDC Zombie Apocalypse Preparedness release, it was sent out against our wishes.
Just imagine if it was real just for a second. Are you ready? Are you prepared? I don't know. Some people have been waiting for this day for their entire life. I don't know if the population would be ready for a zombie apocalypse.
So you think that NASA's fake? Does that mean all the other space agencies are faking it too? Oh, you mean like China?
浪是白色的是云还是浪？哦，这里是王耀。
India just landed on the moon. Oh yeah, in a cartoon.
जी हाँ, आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि हम लैंडर
SpaceX has been to outer space too. They're private industry, not government. SpaceX? You mean fake X? Well, when NASA goes back to the moon, you won't be able to deny it anymore. Hope they pick up their guy. What guy? The guy who stayed behind to film them leaving the last time?
3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston. Vector good. Ag thought. Good over. Roger, you have good thrust. Okay, 30 seconds. 308, your number.
What a brave cameraman to stay back on the moon while the ship lifts off.
Does anybody know where Andrew and Tristan Tate spent the days before their arrest in Miami? Because if you don't, allow me to fill you in, because you literally can't make this shit up. This is Paolo Zampoli, Donald Trump's U.S. Special Envoy for Global Partnerships, right? Also a longtime friend of Donald Trump and Melania. Paolo Zampoli is the former modeling executive who said that he actually brought Melania to the United States and, of course, introduced her to Donald Trump. There's a lot more about this man that'll really have you thinking, but I can't help but wonder why the Tate brothers, just days before their arrest, were partying in Washington, D.C. as guests of Paolo Zampoli, especially considering the new allegations against them, which, if you didn't know, UK's Crown Prosecution Service, like it says here, said that it is bringing additional charges of rape against Andrew and Tristan under ongoing cases against the brothers in that nation. The agency said that the brothers are awaiting extradition to the UK. And if you didn't know, Andrew Tate faces 7 additional counts of rape, 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and 19 additional charges relating to illegal you-know-what. Tristan Tate faces 1 count of sexual assault, 2 counts of rape, and 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation. New charges relate to 4 additional alleged victims. Previous charges were connected to 3 alleged victims. The case against Tristan previously included 3 counts of rape, 6 counts of actual bodily harm, and 2 counts of human trafficking. Which makes me wonder, if these motherfuckers can be arrested, then why can't the rest of the individuals on that list and in those files be arrested as well? Something about this shit just is not adding up. Not that I don't see this as an obvious celebration.
I'm sorry to say, but those two are cooked. The Matrix hates those guys and has been wanting them out for a long time. But my question is, why did they get arrested and nobody else? Let me know.
This is the old Hippocratic oath that doctors had to swear by. They had to literally pledge their allegiance to these Greek gods. Look, I swear by Apollo, the physician, and Asclepius, and health, and all heal, and all the gods and goddesses that, according to my ability and judgment, I will keep this oath in stipulation. I reckon him who taught me this art equally dear to me as my parents, to share my substance with him and relieve his necessities it required.
Oh my god.
Crazy, right?
This is so demonic.
So demonic.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, I didn't know that.
Doctors had to swear to Apollo. Isn't that wild?
Right. I think human beings who are one with God, and God is in all of us. I think a human being's natural position is love. Period, point blank. Right. And that actual dislike is like it's not our normal setting. Right. Something had to happen in our minds for us to now dislike this person. There's a blockage, right? You did something to me. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm protecting something. I don't like you for something. Right. But that's not a natural state.
That's the alarm I'm gonna need tomorrow because this video is extra long. All right, YouTube, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hopefully some of these videos got you questioning reality right now. And since you watched all the way through, definitely consider giving me a like and subscribe to catch all the latest content when I first drop it. So I hope to see you next time. This was Around the Web. Peace.